editing, that's fun because, like, especially like if on your camera or any other recording device, the audio is not that quite, uh, quite crisp. You can extract it on CapCut and just, like, plug it in, but you got to make sure you line everything accordingly. What up, world? Welcome back to another luxurious episode of Not for Nothing podcast, where we are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I am your host, Stevens Ramirez, and today's journey is a remarkable one. We hit another milestone, episode 10. Little fun fact, not that many upstarting podcasts usually reach to this level. This is like a statistical realm where usually if you can reach to 10, you can continue on into the next zone. Because usually there's about 80,000 podcasters. You cut that in half, 40,000 that are active. You cut that in half, you see 20,000 that are consistently pushing the needle. And usually once you reach like around episode 3, episode 4, that's where people tend to fall off. And understanding the nuances of gotta push content and how to know how they can be consistent, or how can they plan out their next move just to make sure. And for me, I you know been diving deep into YouTube, just looking up podcasters that I respect and seeing how they are improving their niche and how they are pushing the needle. And especially those who are upstarting. You can use your phone. Like right now, I'm using my cell phone to just record this. I am using an application called Riverside, and in which that kind of made things much more easier for me. Just oh, okay, I have a program that can improve my audio, my visual, and also I could upload everything onto Spotify, so it makes that much more easier. And especially if you're trying to work on a budget, I got this Samsung 2QU. It's $70. Well, I got it on sale on Amazon for $55. But hey, this is a legit dynamic mic that you have your 3-prong, your USB, your headphone jack, so you can do as much work with it as possible. I also got my wireless mic going on. It's an upgrade from my previous ones. But this one definitely takes the cake, makes my audio much more crisp and smooth. And I wouldn't do anything without my H6 Zoom portable recorder. I didn't know you can hardwire connect this to an outlet to save you from batteries from burning out, to stay on consistent realms, and just to make sure that you're good to go on this aspect. I had so much fun into learning about this little module that even now that they're trying to upgrade it more to be more touchscreen, I respectively enjoyed learning a lot, especially anytime that you hit a certain numbers, it saves on the file separately, so you can hear everybody all in unison and everything once you hit record and hit play. But when you upload it on the computer, everyone's file is separate. So editing, that's fun because especially if on your camera or any other recording device, the audio is not that quite crisp. You can extract it on CapCut and just plug it in, but you got to make sure you line everything accordingly. I danced around a couple of editorial programs like Premiere, which I have no idea about Premiere, so I just that's a different realm for me to dance on. And I just learned about if you've seen the movie Everything and All Things All at Once, one editor did everything on that, on Premiere Pro, which I'm like, if that dude doesn't get a fat check for getting an Emmy or an Oscar, one or the other, bro, that was like pulling teeth trying to figure out how to remove the background. So that part was like a little fun to figure out. But I'm a CapCut G all the way. Not professional, but like I'm getting up there. And what I'll leave in the description below, like how much everything costs, and especially like a starting off camera, my Sony Z1F, vlogging camera, where just trying to see things and improve along the way, and how I enjoyed recording and cutting out the fat and figuring things out is just to talking to people and actively listening, and trying to be more engaging with them, but also be more engaging with my audience. And like and comment and describe on below, what do you like about the videos? How can I improve? Just so it could be more enjoyable to listen, to watch, and even engage. You can follow me on Instagram, and then you can message me there, and I will respond at a timely basis. But it's just a unique experience, just following things through, hearing people's stories, seeing from my video 1 to video 10, and seeing like how things shift from night and day. You won't notice your work until you start like looking back, and it's just like, oh man, like I could have definitely improved on this one, or actually plan things out accordingly. I always give hiatus, or not hiatus, but flowers to people that push me, just like, yo man, hit record, just do it. Like don't feel nervous about it, just pick up along the way. It's like, how would you know if you're any good at it? Everyone sucks at first. So I'm just like, even now, like I still feel like I still in caterpillar phase. Like I don't know much, and still learning to engage more and talk articulately. Talk articulate. Wow. Just trying to do all that fancy word, just brain fart moment. But it's fun though. It's fun. I'm proud because we hit a milestone. And I'm saying we as in you and I, you tuning in and seeing the community expand. I really enjoy it. And what's the aim for this, for not for nothing, trying to shift the spotlight on everyone's perspective. I know everyone's life is different, and I know everyone, perceptions is different. Because, in the military, it's like my perception, your reality. And it doesn't work like that outside, the military force. So it's just, I want you to know people's stories, get it inside, how to, work your finances if you want to aim to own a home, or put down a savings just so you can probably purchase yourself another tattoo, or tuning in to listening on several other podcast platforms to get a quick laugh, or just what, this helped me out throughout the day. I think this person definitely shift my perspective. I always say I'm a fan of other fellow podcasters, because I'm just like, yo, I enjoy how they just tell a story, and enjoy how they can get absorbed in their art. For me, I feel like I am trying to plant a seed, water this little seedling, and allow it to sprout and see where it can go. Or like a bonsai tree. I'm gonna make you grow in a direction where I can feel the more comfortable flow of situations and things. I know I'm not perfect, and I try to piece things together in a more organic way, but then also in a controlled way. Um, but I think that's the thrill of the journey. I remember growing up in in the South Bronx with my mom, and even though my dad was present, it was just a unique factor of like I gotta figure everything out on my own. Had to do things on a spectrum of like, you know what, if I can cook myself eggs, I know I'm okay. If I can take myself to school, I know I'm okay. Only to an extent where like, I can think on my own. But even now I feel like a toddler walking in the realm of YouTube, just like, all right, let's see if I can like, try to walk a couple of steps. And right now I'm just like reaching to episode 10, and in which, I guess this day is kind of special because one, it's playoffs for the NFL, for the Chiefs and Ravens and Lions and 49ers, go Pack go. But just stay tuned for next year because Jordan Love, yo, boy, my young boys, the Pack is looking like a team to be threatened with, but that's neither here or there. But what I believe is to bring people together, shift the limelight of how like, positive masculinity would need to be seen. Of course, not trying to jump into too much of the relationship roles rhetoric and how everyone would try to beat the dead horse on that topic, even though that topic is still a hot take for many fields. Just trying to shift on the perspective and limelight of other people's thought processes. And what I desire from my audience and my peoples, to like and comment, but really engage and tell me how can I improve, what do you like, what you dislike, just so the needle can be pushed a little bit more. And what I like about doing the entirety of the process is like learning how to utilize equipment, learning how to be an editor or a producer or a cameraman, just like, learning of the angles or like, the three-way technique where you have like, your primary shot, your focus shot, and like, your guest shot, just trying to learn the nuances of the background works before jumping in front of the camera. Even now I'm just utilizing Riverside, shout out to Riverside, just to improve on myself, and even like touching on Think Media and how they are sharing a story and how to improve yourself. And it's crazy because it's always a boundless field of information that's even relatively available on YouTube. Like I didn't even know that YouTube was the second most utilized search engine on the internet behind Google. So it's just like, oh wow, that's funny. And it's a lot of like how-to videos. Like the first thing you just put how to, boom, how to cook or how to put up a drywall, how to set up a podcast, how to budget. It's a lot of things that come into play. So I feel like this year is going to be like, a very unique year where it's like I'm just going to try to push the envelope a bit by bit. And I always say like, hey, each episode you'll see just a minor improvement on the editing aspect. Because even now, it's just like everyone loves the recording aspect, is where it's the editing portion. That's where it kind of time constraint. Because like the moment you sit down and just like, hey, I like this vision. No, I don't like this vision. Like I could tell you many moments where I edited like the last 3 episodes, and all the audio was trash. I had to extract the audio. I had to like, plug in the recorded audio from the tape recorder. And that part was like a learning process, but it was also like pulling teeth. I'm like, oh, I gotta line up the lips, gotta line up the vocal points. Like, okay. Like it was one point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. And I'm talking and then the guest is talking, and then I'm talking as the guest, and the guest is talking as me. I was like, whoa, that doesn't sound right. So I had to start all over, and that part was a fun experience because it's like, oh, so this is how you can like pull and plug into a lot of things. So I'm just like, okay, I just learned something new, and it's very enjoyable. And even now, like connecting to other podcasters, I had no problem sharing things of what I know. And when they share things of what they know, oh, I'm going to take everything in and be more present. And I think that's what I learned a lot doing this is to being more present with people. I'm just like, oh, I want to give you, I've always given undivided attention. I let people speak. But like, if I'm being present with you and I look you in the eye and I'm like, I want to hear your story. I'm like, I'm listening, I'm present, I'm with you. And I think at times I kind of get lost in the listening portion. I was like, oh wait, I gotta interject. Wait, hold on. I gotta like, not let this person ramble on for too long. And it's a fun and engaging experience, especially like, they always say like the best episodes are always talked offline before you record it because like when you're just trying to get to know the person, you're getting comfortable, you're testing the waters, you're throwing out like spontaneous phrases and stuff, and they'll pull on into it. And I think what I try to stand out the most is to ask people what was their turning point, what was their key moment where if I decided not to do this, I wouldn't be here. Like for me, I could say there's a multitude of not for nothing moments on my end where if I didn't went to the military, I probably would have ended up in jail. Or if I didn't decide to be a committed man, what would I be now? And even now, I'm just so blessed to having a family, having a place that I can call my own, being honorable in my duties in serving for the people that I want to protect. And I feel like there's a different type of people that different people are cut off from different types of cloths. If that's how you want to say take it as it is. I feel like it's different where I'm committed to protect and serve, but I'm also committed to serve my family. And even now, just walking into this trail and trying to pull and push situations all at the same time. And even going on to my spiritual journey and adding to the spiritual journey, the podcasting journey and the manhood journey. It's like just trying to come in all together, and they're all like slowly coming into the same path, and it's an enjoyable experience. Like I'm super hyped hitting this milestone on episode 10, just like reaching to this point and getting comfortable to even talking without a guest and talking just amongst myself and just like, hey, what have been the highlight moments for these past 4 weeks, and just enjoying the the push, the mountain climb, the drive to be better. And I try to be better on every episode and looking like how to test the camera, seeing the angles, recording, or seeing how I can utilize my phone in a way to be a secondary camera. And that's the part where it's just like, oh, this is fun, this is interesting. Uh, of course, there's some heartache moments where it's just like, oh, it's not the best angle, but you work what you have. And I used to think like, oh, I gotta push, 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 push. But now it's just like, I want quality instead of quantity. If I can have just a simple interaction and just try to put the best work out there as much as I can to allow people to hear my story, then I did a good job. I feel super comfortable with it. And even so, like I think about it, looking at today's, social market amongst men and how there are a lot of good men out there. And some that are being overlooked, and some that just work quietly. And you are being seen, my friend. You are seen. And don't let the social stigmas cloud your actions, because you are a needed individual in today's society. And I feel like this year is going to be a grand one, a very big one. And I guess that's all I have to say. Like, subscribe, tune in, comment, follow us on Instagram. We're going to be more on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So it's your boy, Steven Ramirez, for Not For Nothing Podcast. Peace out.